Hey guys, it's time for your Monday therapy nugget, and I am accompanied by Sarah Contreras. She
Hey.
is one of our neurofeedback technicians, and she was here, and I looped her into doing this with me. So thank you. She learned something in psychology class today that is something that I often teach my clients about. So, what was it that you learned?
You cannot. It's impossible to multitask.
It's impossible to
Yes,
multitask.
it is.
Do you remember at all what they said about that?
Um, your attention can only be focused on one thing. Like you can't split your attention from like one thing to another. You'll see yourself focusing on one thing more than the other.
Which is actually why it's highly effective when people are going through any sort of mental distress, whether it's depression or anxiety or anything else, to distract yourself because it actually works. Because if you're focused on something else, you literally can't focus on the thing you're stressed about.
Yes.
The best analogy that I use with most of my clients, if you are my client, I'm sure you've heard me say this, but think of texting and driving. So you are not actually texting and driving. What's happening is you have your phone and you're going millisecond, 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 millisecond. But you are actually only attending to phone, street, phone, street, phone, street. And you're just doing it at such a fast pace that your brain helps to convince you that you're doing both at the same time. Not to mention, you've got the road in your periphery, and so that makes you think that you're actually looking at it. But there have been there have been a lot of fun studies on peripheral vision and how it is not effective for a person actually seeing an accurate color or word or person. Participants in these studies miss huge, wildly huge details about things when they're only using their peripheral vision. So it is impossible to multitask. Please do not try to text and drive because you are either texting or you're driving. Even talking to text, that's better, but
Focusing on what you're trying to say.
you're focused on what you're trying to say and you're pushing. You have to do something with your phone to get that on there. So, also, if your friend is talking to you and you're on your phone and you think you're listening to your friend, you're not.
No.
You're texting and then listening to your friend and texting and listening to your friend. And your friend probably thinks that you're not listening very well. So, don't multitask. Do one thing at a time. It's probably more mindful of you anyway. And have a good night.
Bye.